While the carnival wound down at Flemington, across the Tasman Sea, things were just beginning to warm up. At Riccarton on November 4, New Zealand's best fillies journey south for the Group 1 1,000 guineas.
So as they travel round the turn now, just on 700 metres to go, and the leader is Flight Hero. Flight Hero leads the Guineas field, So Special is right with it. Down on the inside to Animos. In behind those runners we've got Byzant Star. Up on the outside for Rama Knights is coming strongly around them now. Then Esther Kelly, followed wider out by Clear Rose, Belldale Blues. At the head of the rest then is So Special, and further back to Miss Tree. But with the distance post coming up for Rama Knights has galloped strongly to the lead. Here comes a big run from Clear Rose down the outer. Look at it finish. Clear Rose for Ramonite's trying to kick again, but Clear Rose has gone zoom. Gone past it in a flash, wins by 3 lengths. Second.
8 years earlier on this very afternoon, Laxon had been at Flemington, leading in Empire Rose after a towering win in the McKinnon Stakes. Clear Rose, a daughter of the Checkers Stud Stallion Deputy Governor, was cleverly ridden by top Kiwi jockey Noel Harris. 4 days later, it's the boys' turn. Colts and Geldings do battle over the Riccarton 1,600 metre circuit in the Group 1 2,000 guineas.
Round the turn they come, 500 metres to run, and Magic McGinty leads the Guineas field for home. Up on the outside, Princeton Bay, Prince Oregon between them. Straight clip the rail and wider out by Zanstar, and now coming down the outside, Pakaraban, but it's a bit far away, and getting through Be Boss. They're all over the place here, Magic McGinty, Be Boss, and further out by Zanstar, Princeton Bay, and here comes Peer Ginn and Chris Johnson through the middle, but Be Boss is getting there, Be Boss and Peer Ginn. There's nothing in it. B-Boss.
B-Boss won the photo all right, but unfortunately had his program halted after the discovery of a minor injury that saw him put aside until the autumn. B-Boss is part owned and trained by Jenny Vance and was handled by her Cox Plate winning husband, Bob. The next New Zealand Group 1 race for 3-year-olds is the Bayer Classic, over 1,600 metres at Leven. Here, most interest centred on the return to racing of the previous season's champion 2-year-old, Ballroom Babe.
Ballroom Babe turns first. Sternstuff's gone up alongside. Has he got the head in front? Sternstuff to Ballroom Babe. Sartorial gets the inside runner. Magic McGinty, and on the outside Prussian Blue and Byzant Star. They've got the Babe and Sternstuff in front of the Bayer. On the outside Prussian Blue flying. Sartorial, Animos, Prussian Blue in front. Animos the inside. Too good, Prussian Blue.
This was the most comprehensive classic win of the season and stamped Prussian Blue as a 3-year-old of serious quality. The colt sire Chrysler is closely related to Australia's racehorse of the moment, Octagonal. Prussian Blue is trained by Davina Waddell, who successfully campaigned Isle of Man in New Zealand and Australia in the early 80s. For the final months of the year, the older stayers in New Zealand are steered towards just one race, the DB Auckland Cup at Ellerslie on New Year's Day. About 5 weeks earlier, many of the major protagonists find their way to the other major Auckland racetrack, Avondale, for the Group 1 Avondale Cup.
Pakarakas became prominent, followed by Juice, who's galloping into the party. Love Dances had a very nice economical run throughout on the railers, followed Commander Chevelle as they swing the corner, 400 metres to go, and Regal Chief and Tony Allen slip clear by a length and a half to Lord Majestic. Love Dance, Paris throughout, Commander Chevelle and Pakarakas and Juice. Inside the 250, Regal Chief by a length and a half. Here's Love Dance coming after him strongly, and Commander Chevelle with Pakarakas down the outside. Regal Chief from Love Dance's pair, and Sir James is flashing home. Love Dance on the outside of Regal Chief. Love Dance, Regal Chief.
Love Dance had raced consistently but without much luck in Australia as a 3-year-old, with their placing behind Circles of Gold in the AJC Oaks her best performance. Jockey Gary Grills was the man with the winning touch here and provided this well-bred mare with a well-deserved victory at racing's highest level. Across in Perth, the annual Western Australian Racing Carnival gets underway with, wait for it, the Eat More Fruit and Vegetable Stakes. This 1,800 metre weight for age race has gone by a number of sponsors' names in recent years, but its list of past winners is testament to its quality. Great gallopers like Family of Man, Sovereign Red, Kingston Town and Vo Rogue.
Island Morn, 700 to run the leader. A length and a half of Basso. Wonder Danny Boy being niggled at. A length away for John, followed by Boheed. Then Brad's Son, followed on the outside. The Starstruck Bionic Best. Foreman about to make ground around the outside, followed by Seasky. Hemmed away on the inside from Dark Czar. Placido and last for home signpost. But Island Morn making all haste for home. In the straight, kicked away by 3 lengths. In the bend is Island Morn by 3. From Wabasso for John. Then Starstruck Foreman down the outside from Seasky, 100 to go. Island Moore nicely clear by 2, but here comes 4 John, Foreman and Starstruck. 4 John, Foreman, Starstruck, get to Island Moore. 4 John in front, 4 John has won it, 4 John's won from...
Rick Quinella here to the underrated Western Australian stallion Old Spice, a son of the former leading Sedgenho stud sire Kangaroo Star. At this point of his... Here's a good horse and a great story. The 3-year-old is called Crying Game, and his trainer is an accomplished horsewoman called Angela Johnson. No stranger to the pressure that comes with Group 1 racing.
And Crying Game, 700 to go. Races to the lead, a length and a half, Spider Burton. Third go the grey, Unpretentious, making ground from Old Cobber. Then My Pago, Balmoral Gate peeling off, followed by Actung Baby, then Barenzo. Kim Fighter's beaten and last on the turn, Djibouti. 400 from home in the Derby and Crying Game. First to see the judge, about 3/4 of a length, Unpretentious. A length away, then came Balmoral Gate, Old Cobber. Actung Baby sweeping around the outside, but 2:20 to go. And Crying Game leads a length and a half. Now 2, now 3. It's Crying Game by 4, 5. It's all over. Unpretentious Actung Baby the outside, but Crying Game's going to bolt in. He's easing down to win by 4 lengths from Unpretentious Actung Baby.
After that sensational win, Crying Game attempted to become the first horse since Bart Cummings' great stayer Diana to win both the Derby and the Perth Cup.
As they come to the home turn, getting well backed and on the bend, dropping out of it quickly, Assemblyman followed by Fimo. Bookett Serene at last is True Russian, but Crying Game is first to home in the Cup, and he gets away by 2 lengths around the bend from Bullwinkle and Ernesto, followed by Cloudy Bay. Then came Bowheat, but 200 to go, and Crying Game well clear, leads by 3 lengths Ernesto and Bullwinkle, but the 3-year-old Crying Game, he's got the Cup won. Crying Game races home and wins by 4 lengths. Ernesto, Bullwinkle, Bowheat 4th, followed by Darkstar.
This was perhaps the most poignant human interest of the entire racing season. Angela Johnson, under the pressure of raising a child as a single mother, almost gave training away. Almost. She toughed it out, believing that a little-known gelding called Crying Game could turn everything around for her. Not only did he achieve that, but Crying Game has set Angela up for life. Crying Game is the son of Warring Nations, an American-bred stallion who, although he could not win himself, is a Perth's best milers were primed to do battle in the $258,000 Railway Stakes at Ascot on December 30.
With Welcome Night, Tolo Harbour and Sammy the Bull last around the bend, 300 to go, and Island Morn first to see the judge, a length and a half over Jack's or better. 4 John to third from Wabasso, followed by Colbernat, then Century Blazer, Craigie Ticket and Wide Foreman and Quadrupedante. Island Morn joined by Jack's or better. Jack's or better takes the lead from Island Morn. Here's Wabasso and Foreman down the outside. Jack's or better, Foreman is flying, but the Jack's got it.
Jack's or better is the most important of 5 stakes winners signed by the South Australian-based stallion Caravilla, champion 3-year-old sprinter of Ireland in 1983. Jack's or better is trained by George Daly, a familiar figure at racetracks all around Australia, and was ridden very cleverly by Dennis Gundry.
New Zealand's biggest week of racing gets underway with the Derby meeting on Boxing Day, December 26. 2 years earlier, the Dave and Paul O'Sullivan trained Popsy had been able to roll the boys in the New Zealand Herald Derby. This year, the top filly Clear Rose was given a huge chance of repeating that piece of history.
They start to sprint up front. Valence, then we've got Mr. Searchy looking to improve. Yosarian, Prussian Blue, Kesson Power. One's gone down, and the favourite's out, and also out of the contest too is Yosarian. So they turn in now with 400 metres to go, and intervals at the front from Sartorial and Royson. In behind them, Mr. Searchy winding up with Valence at the 250 though, and Royson's in front from interval in the Derby. Sartorial, Mr. Searchy, a late run by Clear Rose out wider. Royson's in front from interval. Out wide, Clear Rose is coming home pretty quickly. Royson's in front though in the Derby, and Royson has scored in the Derby from Clear Rose. Third is...
The cash went to Royson, but the majority of the kudos went the way of Clear Rose, who looked as certainly beaten after being badly checked before the home turn. Royson, to his credit, kept on strongly in the straight after being enterprisingly ridden by Vinnie Colgan. Cambridge breeders Jim and Jennifer Campen were responsible for both first and second. The Melbourne Cup may be the race that stops the nation in Australia. In New Zealand, its counterpart is the Auckland Cup, run over 3,200 metres at Ellerslie on New Year's Day. Following his convincing win in the Group 2 Waikato Times Gold Cup at Terrace 3 weeks earlier, the lightly raced 5-year-old Senator was a clear top choice among punters.
The field in the Group 1 DB Draft Auckland Cup of 96 make the corner, 450 to go, and Cezanne's tackled by Regal Chief, who went to the lead and shot clear. Regal Chief now to Cezanne. Here come the challengers, Wigan Prince, Tom, Commander Chevelle, Touching Grace. Maxim's threading its way through. Regal Chief's in front of the cup by 2 or 3 lengths. Juice with a big run, and Wigan Prince is coming after them, followed then by Maxim, Wigan Prince and Senator. This is the run. The Senator's got it. The Senator, great ride, Mark Sweeney has won the cup. Maxim second, Wigan Prince third.
A fairy tale result for 58-year-old dairy farmer Jack Timms, who had been extraordinarily patient with his 17-hand son of the Canadian import, Sound Reason. Senator was ridden by the emerging star in New Zealand's riding ranks, Mark Sweeney, reputed to be the best apprentice since Jim Cassidy. In common with the Melbourne Cup winner Doremus, Senator is out of a mare by the renowned stamina influence Zamazan. If the Auckland Cup is the ultimate race for a New Zealand stable, then the pinnacle for sprinters is the Group 1 Railway Handicap, run over 1,200 metres at Ellerslie on the same afternoon.
Into the straight, 400 metres to go, and Red sent by a length and a quarter on the outside. So Keen, Chosen Aces coming out after them. They're followed by Ensign, Yurt, Crisp and Clear and Showtime, the race favourite. Jazzac, a fair bit to do. Red sent in front of So Keen and Chosen Ace. Inside the 100 though, Red sent is holding So Keen. Lotus coming home and it's gone whoosh, and it's all over the railway. But Lotus scores from Red Scent and So Keen.
At this stage of his career, Australians had not seen the best of Bruce Wallace's willful chestnut gelding Star Dancer, a son of 1988 Golden Slipper hero Star Watch. But on the home soil, this gifted galloper is a short-priced tote favourite.
Followed by Abaddon and Silver Chalice are going for home, and the leader is Lord Majestic from Beijing and Pakaraka Star. Star Dancer still there on the inside, and Abaddon's coming into it. Pakaraka Star hit the front to Star Dancer. With them is Lord Majestic. Yes, indeed, he's not far away, but Star Dancer quickly sped through on the inside. He's jumping fair through his bridle, Star Dancer. Yes, indeed, it's coming hard day, but Star Dancer has lasted to beat, yes, indeed, Silver Chalice.
Star Dancer had won the Auckland Classic for Wallace and jockey Grant Cooksley in 1995 as well, though on that occasion he had significantly more up the sleeve. The revelation of the race, however, was the outstanding performance from Yes Indeed. His training had been taken over by Mike Moroney. The New Zealand racing caravan moved south to Trentham in the second half of January for the Wellington Racing Club's fabulous Summer Cup. The Group 1 sprinters, who had featured in Ellerslie's Railway Stakes, traditionally seek a rematch in the Group 1 Telegraph Handicap. And naturally, the brilliant Loader once again put his hand up.
And down to the 500 metres, Sunspot, Jazzac gets the run on the inside. Showtime between them, and then Red Scent straight clip. Moonlight's down the outside. Renee starting to run home pretty well. Wider out, Atlantic Brave, snap right to the outside. Loader in behind them, starting to run on. Sunspot in front. Moonlight's trying to reach it on the outside. Here's Snap and Loader through the centre. Here he goes. Loader gets another Group 1. He's brilliant. Loader too good.
With 11 wins and around 300,000 New Zealand dollars to his credit, Loader is a sprinter deserving respect. The gelding is the best product to date of the Australian-bred sprinter Pre-Catalan, a son of English Dewhurst Sprinter Stakes winner and successful New South Wales sire, Lunchtime. The New Zealand Oaks is one of the most important races on the calendar for the country's valuable thoroughbred breeding industry. Mike Moroney stablemates from Matamata had all the aces here, with his high-class Western Symphony filly, the Lions Road, and the well-bred Grosvenor daughter, Alacrity.
Clear Rose goes forward, 500 to travel as they swing in. Here Dysky's just in front of Altrista. Anamos looking for a way out. The Lions roars after them now. Clear Rose is starting to hit top gear, and Alacrity's getting into the clear. The Lions roar in front from Altrista and then Alacrity. I don't think Clear Rose will do it today. The Lions roar in front of the Oaks. The stablemate Alacrity is coming after it strongly. Alacrity to the Lions roar, who's doing it all wrong, and Alacrity wins the Oaks. Mike Moroney's gone out at it.
Moroney is certainly the emerging force in New Zealand training ranks, and now has a successful satellite stable operating out of Adelaide. Alacrity is the 33rd stakes winner for the marvellous Sir Tristram stallion Grosvenor, one of New Zealand's most consistent sources of classic blood. At 300,000 New Zealand dollars, the Wellington Cup is second only to the Auckland Cup as New Zealand's richest race. Following his sensational win at Ellerslie, the towering stayer, the Senator, was a strong first fancy, with Yes Indeed's tremendous second in the Auckland Classic ensuring him of wide support as well.
And here we've got now on the outside, Slightly Dangerous goes up and hits the front early in the run home. Yes Indeed is out and after it now. Senator's on the inside with his run. Wider out then Wilbury Star and Magnet Bay starting to run on. Yes Indeed in front. From now on the outside we've got Magnet Bay, Senator over on the inside, and then Chase Me Charlie, but Yes Indeed in front. Magnet Bay's trying to flash it at the last little bit. Second last year, first in 96, and a salute from Jock and Yes Indeed's taken the cup.
There were plenty of punters who were prepared to risk their cash on Yes Indeed in the 1995 Melbourne Cup, won by Terrace. The gelding couped his expenses with a second to Count Chivas in the Sandown Cup. It wasn't until the Kiwi summer that the 6-year-old really came into his own. Yes Indeed was ridden by Jock Cadogan, joining a select band of... The big metric miles, like the Doncaster and the Epsom, are an important part of Australian racing. And it's no different in New Zealand. The first of the big Kiwi 1600-metre races is the Thornton Mile on the final day of the Trentham Carnival.
Here they've got 550 metres to travel, and we've got Perfect World joined by Mark II Zipper. Covered in grey showing up on the outside of these. Deeper out the baldy face of Happiness. In behind them Pakaraka Star and then Avedon from a mile back. Perfect World now to Covered in grey on the outside. Then we've got Waikato poking up in behind them. Avedon starting to get home as to Happiness across the track. Happiness Covered in grey, Perfect World and Avedon on the outside. Happiness one given to Avedon and Happiness wins the Thornton. Happiness has done it to Avedon third, I wouldn't be sure.
This was the 9th win in just 19 starts for Happiness, a daughter of Coolmore's well-performed dual hemisphere stallion, Bluebird. And their dam is Pride of Chantilly, a daughter of the mighty Sir Tristram and a half-sister to one of New Zealand's great fillies, Young Ida. Happiness
being focused on the autumn riches in Sydney and Melbourne. Australia's first Group 1 of the new year is what used to be known as the William Reid Stakes, now titled the Australia Stakes. 12 months earlier, this was the race which saw Hariba explode away with one of the biggest individual performances we've seen since the era of Vane. What would 1996 unfold?
And it's Brawny Spirit, 1.5, Sequalo and Strategic starting to join in quickly. 2 lengths further back, Racer's Edge, 4th from Poetic King. Up to the bend, Brawny Spirit a half length in front of Strategic. Sequalo the centre under pressure, they're rolling out. And Racer's Edge has got the rails run at the 200-metre mark. They straighten Strategic out wide. Race to Brawny Spirit from Racer's Edge. But the 3-year-old explodes away, Strategic. He's home and hose, 3 in front. Rancho Scooter second from Brawny Spirit. All Strategic by 3. Rancho...
This was a fitting result for some astute planning by trainer John Hawkes, who realised that this would...
Race, nice and fresh, cattle and opening, because he's got plenty of class. Now they're all there, with one exception. There's one horse still out. With one exception, there's one horse still out. In the Royal Sovereign. And Vernal is a shade slow at last as they come to the 700 metres mark. Saturn Planet on the inside and Successful are the 2 leaders, and they're clear of Delinquent. On the rails 4th is Vernal. On the inside of Cattle and Opening, 3 deep is Revada. Super Slew is off the track on the outside of Donar. Falante is worse than midfield, close to the fences. They turn for home from Classy Fella, Wave a Tree and Burrito. Coming over the rise, and Successful headed Saturn Planet. Cattle and Opening into the clear is running a heck of a race. Cattle and Opening has cantered to the lead at the 200 mark. He dashed clear of Successful Saturn Planet, followed by Vernal, but it's all Cattle and Opening 100 out. Here's Falante out of the pack going after him. Cattle and Opening, though, shaken up in the last little bit, is holding Falante at bay, and Cattle and Opening scores a sparkling first up win. Falante second, Revada third, followed by Delinquent, Successful, then Vernal, Classy Fella, Saturn Planet, Donar, Super Slew, well back is Burrito, and Wave a Tree is last in the...
Lightfinger Stakes, here are the closing stages.
Brother, they're not kidding. It's Peruzzi, hands and heels to the line. She'll win by a minute.
Earlier in the Express Stakes, jockey John Marshall was lucky not to sustain a serious injury in this fall aboard March Hare.
Oh, there's a fall on the turn, March Hare. March Hare is down just before the home corner.
Saintly went on to win the race.
Along the rail, and look at Saintly. Saintly jumping out of the ground, swamps Juggler, and Saintly has come from nowhere.
The Bart Cummings
racing yesterday at Randwick in the Expressway, a fall with Johnny Marshall. But the good news is that he didn't even have to go to hospital. But the heart is always in the mouth when something happens like that, Max.
Oh, no doubt. It's remarkable just the risks jockeys take. But another factor is, too, the horse that fell, March Hare, came through the incident with no abnormalities. Have a look at that. What an incredible fall, but also what an incredible performance by Saintly. Saintly was alongside the fallen horse at the time, and there he is at Chestnut trying to get a run through. He's actually brought to a standstill there, but gets the split, and look at how he lengthens his stride.
Dancer charging along the rail, and look at Saintly. Saintly jumping out of the ground, swamps Juggler, and Saintly has come from nowhere.
Also Saintly's saddle slip, which was just another little inconvenience he had to overcome.
Was outshone by the 1995 CF4 Stakes at Sandown Park had seen Horse of the Year Jeune feature in a stunning comeback. This year, the race was hailed as a head-to-head between Jeune and his Horse of the Year predecessor, Mahogany.
Sprint on now into the straight. Racer's Edge, the leader, Mahogany, got out off the rail as Circles of Gold didn't come round the turn well, and Mahogany has Racer's Edge in his sights. Hall went for the whip. Racer's Edge led by 2 lengths. He's got away. Racer's Edge got 3 in front now from Mahogany. Count Shivers running on to 3rd. Jeune is still second last, but Racer's Edge all the way. He's 5 in front of Mahogany and Count Shivers, then Circles of Gold. Racer's Edge, what a win! 6 lengths.
Of the tactical challenges,
although the dead track rating wasn't ideal, Mahogany was sent out 5-4 favourite for his match race with Jeune. Jockey Greg Hall was quietly confident as they were locked away, and Mahogany jumped beautifully.
Racing this time, Jeune missed a 2.5 to 3 lengths.
But the Gerald Ryan trained Racer's Edge dictated terms out front and moved clear approaching the post.
No Jeune today, but Racer's Edge at Group 1 level careers right away, and Racer's Edge wins 6 lengths in the run home, Count Shivers.
Jeune never got into the race, while Mahogany finished a disappointing 4th. The winner scored at 12-1. Count Shivers easing Lee Friedman's pain with a smart first-up performance.
A pretty disappointing performance by Mahogany and Jeune yesterday that we'll talk about a little later on.
Yes, it was too, Dave. It was a crazy race. In fact, Racer's Edge stole the race, and he didn't even do it. Kelly stole. At least Ned Kelly had the decency to wear a mask, but this was broad-faced robbery. It wasn't a race at all. It was won by the best 3-furlong horse in the Orr Stakes. More on that later.
The last outing, but certainly put it all to rest yesterday.
Yeah, that's right, David. The Orr Stakes started with Jeune missing the start. That didn't help his chances. That's Racer's Edge in front. Now, Mahogany had the camp on Racer's Edge. He gets out into the clear now. We thought we'd see Mahogany charge up to Racer's Edge, but lo and behold, Racer's Edge bounded away from him, and that made Mahogany's run even more disappointing than the performance of Jeune, who's he's the widest runner in screen now, just has his nose in the white blinkers, but he didn't really finish off the race. Mahogany weak, and disappointments all round, with the exception of Count Shivers, who came from near last to run second, the Sandown Cup winner, now trained by Lee Friedman. I wouldn't be surprised if there's something minor wrong with Mahogany. He's going to be vet checked today.
Severe on Jeune. Jeune came out of the barrier like a bag of potatoes, which is his go. And considering the lack of pace up front, the race certainly wasn't run to suit Jeune. I concede Mahogany was disappointing, but I think you've got to give Jeune one more chance. And I thought Count Shivers' run was outstanding.
I agree with you on the
Kidman during the spring. The step up to 1,600 metres in the Cadbury Australian Guineas gave Flying Spur an ideal opportunity to re-establish himself.
In the straight, Flying Spur, the leader from Salius, and Video Prince trying to make a line of 3, and they're followed then by Stork and a gap to Mad Hatter with about 300 to go. Flying Spur and Salius together from Video Prince and then Stork. It's Video Prince running a big race going up now to take the lead from Salius and Flying Spur. Video Prince, Salius, Flying Spur, what a go, a 3-way go now. Salius and Flying Spur reach the lead again. Salius, Flying Spur, Salius, Flying Spur, Flying Spur, and nose to Salius. The Colt...
Before we can...
2-1 favourite Salius with Darren Beatman on board made a strong start and went to the front. Damien Oliver came late on Flying Spur.
At the 100-metre mark, it's Flying Spur and Salius. Stride for stride in the Guineas. Salius, Flying Spur kicks and wins.
Another victory for the Friedman stables. Flying Spur paying $4.90 for the win.
Salius. Damien Oliver's ride to go to the front mid-race, a telling factor.
We outsmarted them again.
A grand fighting win by Flying Spur. His immediate future unknown, but he may have run his last race.
I'd be tempted to retire him because there's not much else a good colt can win other than the Golden Slipper and then the Australian Guineas. I think they're the 2 best races for colts, because Up to a Mile seems to be the sort of horses we want to breed from now rather than Derby horses.
Backed 11-2 to 9-2, Flying Spur, a narrow but impressive winner. Salius in her first test against the Colts lost no admirers. The longer race is more her forte.
2 to 9-2.
Well, Max, of course, Golden Slipper winner Spur in sensational form in the Guineas yesterday, but the future undecided as far as Lee Freedman's concerned.
Yes, well, I don't know the measure of this form, Keith, but were front runners favoured by this race? They didn't seem, the back markers didn't seem to get into the race until the last 50 metres, didn't really even get into the race. I wonder about the form.
Yeah, I think the results said it all, that our best filly, Salius, and one of our top liners, Golden Spur, proved too good on the day. Golden Spur was beaten 4 times. This is a marvellous ride by Oliver. Take nothing away from Beedman either. There they go to the line. What a thriller. And I was speaking to Lee Freedman this morning on the way into 7 Melbourne, and he said that still no decision has been made as whether the Golden Spur will keep racing or be retired. Plans are for him to stand at stud here in Victoria.
Well, Keith, when you talk about...
for him to stand at stud here in Victoria.
Well, Keith, when you talk about...
Starters in the Blamey Stakes, but it was a class line-up that made for a spectacular dash to the line.
And Racer's Edge is after Starstruck now. Starstruck in front, Racer's Edge wearing it down. They level to the line. Oh, great go. Not sure.
Racer's Edge home by a nose with Paddy Payne on Starstruck getting second.
The Blamey just a field of 5, but it had plenty of excitement.
And now Starstruck chiming in on the outside with a run. Racer's Edge still held up a little, but Starstruck has hit the front at the 200. And the good mare took the lead now from Paris Lane. Racer's Edge finally into the clear. Starstruck the leader. Racer's Edge coming at him hard. Racer's Edge, Starstruck. They go to the line of bobbing go between them here. Racer's Edge to the outside and Starstruck have hit it together.
2 straight wait for age wins for Racer's Edge, sprinting quickly after being held up for a long way. He might now be tried over a longer distance.
I've always believed when I first got the horse and riding him a lot of work himself, the first preparation he'd run a mile and a quarter, and I'll stick by that.
The Australian Cup at 2,000 metres a possible target for Racer's Edge, despite being by sprint sire Rory's Jester. If not, a Sydney campaign is on the cards.
Exciting. You're still excited about that wonderful return, a standing ovation. About that wonderful return, a standing ovation for Dane Wynn yesterday after the Blamey.
Yes,
after the
certainly entitled to it. He carried 60 kilos. He did it at both ends. Of course, his critics might say, yeah, but he didn't win by far. But it's the way he wins. He does it at both ends, as I said, and he keeps winning and keeps running consistently, which is something I'm afraid, Keith, you can't say for Flying Spur.
Well, that's true, Max. I have to concede that point. This is Dane Wynn's first run since the Japan Cup. He's headed to Dubai, and things are going on course for him. I wonder whether Damien Oliver will go to Dubai with Damien, or whether this rider, Wayne Harris, might now get that invitation.
Well, Harris rode him very well yesterday. Note down the outside sprint by charging into second place. Now, Dane Wynn came home his final 600 in under 34, so you can see how good sprint by has gone too, and sprint by wasn't expected to do that well. He's been having hoof problems, so certainly sprint by could be a force in the autumn.
Well, tremendous.
A look at 2 major races in New Zealand. The Cambridge Jockey Club's February meeting at the Terrace racecourse has become increasingly important in recent years. Their showcase race is the Wekanui Stud International Stakes, a Group 1 race decided over 2,000 metres at weight for age.
Homeward bound 400 metres out in the International, and it's Lord Majestic, the leader now from Royston, a length and a half away. Viali looking to get out, now getting the gap, one off the rail, and Silver Chalice desperately in need of room on the inside. Wider out Tenwood Mill at the 200 metres. Lord Majestic, look at Silver Chalice, she's got that gap on the inside from Viali, then Everdon late. Lord Majestic won't lay down, he's still in front for Earl Harrison. Viali lunging, but too late. And then Lord Majestic, the veteran, got there.
Lord Majestic is a 7-year-old in his 6th season of racing. The gelding was very slow to find his feet as a racehorse, winning none from 7 as a 2-year-old and 1 from 15 at 3. With maturity came success. The Waikato Draft Sprint is run the same afternoon as the Cambridge International and is one of New Zealand's 2 Group 1 races conducted over 1,400 metres at weight for age. This was a high-class field and with names very familiar to Australian racegoers: Snap, B-Boss, Perfect World, Corndale, Kingston Bay and the talented Allegro.
Up towards the turn they come, 500 metres out in the Waikato draft sprint of 96, and the leader is B-Boss on the inside from Chosen Ace, working round out wider. Rua Kiwi Ruby coming with it, Perfect World, Allegro Campton behind them, further back Warpath, Kingston Bay, Corndale angling out into the clear, and down the outside comes Snap at the 300 metres across the track. B-Boss tackled by Allegro, coming after them now. Here Snap down the outside with Corndale, Kingston Bay, and behind them needs space at the 150. Allegro's got the lead. Here comes Corndale, Kingston Bay and Snap. Allegro's holding them. Kingston Bay going to it short of the post. They hit it. Oh, give it to Allegro. Allegro got there from Kingston Bay, and third was Corndale. And behind was Corndale. And behind...
This was the third career Group 1 for Allegro, who'd won
liner at the moment. We really don't have a Let's Elope or a Better Loosen Up or something special. But ahead of us we've got Octagonal, Nothing Like a Dane, Catlin Opening, maybe Peep on the Sly, Celius. We've got an exciting crop of 3-year-olds that are going to go on. I can't wait for it. We're going to see a good sprinter at Flemington today too, our Maze K.
Max, what have we got in the black book?
We'll have something on Strategic at Flemington to beat Keith's champion, but certainly Peep on the Sly is in the black book. I'm putting Octagonal two in the black book, and Elegant Gold, although bad.
This is going to be one of the most exciting races you'll watch throughout the autumn, possibly, because you've got an excitement machine in our Maze K, and if one of these other two happen to take the race up to him, you're in for a thrill, and if they don't, he'll come away and absolutely pulverise them, and that'll be equally thrilling, I think.
Well, I'd tell you something, but here's another horse here that's come back as a 3-year-old.
There's not a struck match between this horse Strategic and the other horse Gold Ace.
Yes.
And they were filling second and third place behind our Maze K in races during the spring. So
yeah, Strategic's the one.
Race.
Strategic's the one who'll run home.
Yes, looking at the tote odds there, that's the way the punters see it, to $1.60 for our Maze K, $5.70 Strategic, and $8.60 about Gold Ace. Gold Ace was
the return of our Maze K in gate 7. They're ready. Light racing. Our Maze K began pretty well on the outside. Quality Gold cut up rough away pretty swiftly. Strategic going out fast with Sequalo, and Brawny Spirit showing all his dash in the early part. At the 850 metre mark, Sequalo just in front. Brawny Spirit goes up and heads him. And our Maze K is on the outside of these in third position early, with Quality Gold is outside. Just behind them, You Remember, and then Strategic, who's got back. Cut up rough, and Gold Ace have gone past him, and then Primacy with 550 metres to go. Brawny Spirit 50 metres to go. Brawny Spirit in front. Our Maze K is second, the outside, Sequalo the rail. Just behind them, Quality Gold, You Remember, cut up rough, and Gold Ace wider out. Yorker's had to feel for our Maze K here with about 300 metres to go. Brawny Spirit in front of Sequalo. Our Maze K is hard ridden third now, and then Gold Ace, who's sweeping on the outside. Sequalo's hit the front of the inside from Brawny Spirit. Gold Ace, our Maze K is struggling. It's Sequalo in front. Gold Ace is mowing him down. At every stride, Gold Ace grabbed the lead and won it. Flying Strategic the outside, or Sequalo for second.
The second
Strategic the outside, or Sequalo for second, and then came Brawny Spirit, our Maze K next from You Remember. They were followed by Primacy, Cut Up Rough, and Quality Gold.
Well, a little bit of a turn up for everyone concerned, not only watching it.
Brian York had the horse on the pace early, but he couldn't go with Freedman-trained Gold Ace when the pressure was applied.
Now our Maze K, Gold Ace got up to Sequalo. Gold Ace in front from Sequalo, Flying Strategic. Gold Ace. Gold Ace.
Okay, was even his fourth lightning in 5 years. Our Maze K's flop was a surprise, but Gold Ace's win wasn't.
I knew the horse was working brilliantly, and I just thought that he would have to be right at the top of his game to beat it.
The 9,000 punters at Flemington weren't the only ones shocked by our Maze K's effort.
It was a shock, yeah, because he looks tremendous, the horse, and he does look fat, but he always does. I do think that he probably needs hard racing, though. You can only get him ready so far on the track, and you can only do so much with him. I just think he needs a bit of racing.
He will get more racing. Our Maze K is starting again in Saturday's Oakley Plate. Gold Ace started 13-2. He's set for the Newmarket. Strategic was a mighty effort. The barrier proved costly.
Last night on our Maze K, this is sad too. It now seems the outstanding New Zealand galloper will be retired to stud. A scan of his near foreleg has confirmed he has serious damage to the tendons, and that is bad news.
Agent beginning well, Petita Moore, and showing speed also is Sent Island, a one followed well back by In Square, second last, and Captainly last of all. Plenty of pace on, 700 to go. Barcara takes the lead by a half length. The Legal Angel, a length to Street Talk, 2.5 lengths away, You Remember. A length and a half, Petita Moore on the inside of Sent Isle, 2 lengths further back, Another Excuse, followed by Royal Discard. Prince Marauding, Dennis Singer third last, and well back, being followed by In Square, and last as they straighten up is Captainly in the straight now, and Street Talk on the outside is coming at Barcara. They've kicked away a length and a half. Legal Agent followed by You Remember, and back behind them Petita Moore running on well. Always a chance. Drum right down the outside is winding up from a long way back, and so is Sent Isle. Here's a great go. Petita Moore hit the front. You Remember coming home well, and Drum flying down the outside, and over on the outside finishing very fast. Prince Marauding, Drum's in front. Drum wins it. Drum wins it from Prince Marauding. Is there in a photo with Sent Isle, and over on the inside was Petita Moore. You Remember close up, followed by Always a Chance. Behind them Another Excuse, Dennis Singer, Captain Lee well back In Square, and they were followed home next then by Barcara, and one of the last homers, Legal Agent.
Which this year was transferred to Sandown during the reconstruction of the Caulfield racetrack. The Lee Freedman trained Drum was very heavily backed by professional punters right around Australia.
Strung out at the bend, Barcara just in front of Legal Agent with the rail, and Street Talk the outside. You Remember fourth round the turn, and they're followed then by Always a Chance. Back behind those horses, Petita Moore getting up on the inside, and then Drum to the middle of the course, followed by Sent Isle. Street Talk, Barcara near the 300 of the leaders from Legal Agent gone. Petita Moore's running on powerfully now. Petita Moore hits the front. You Remember, and now Drum down the outside, but Petita Moore dash 2 lengths in front. Drum is cutting it back now. Drum getting to Petita Moore. Drum grabbed the lead and Drum has won it. Prince Marauding flashed home for second.
Yes, it's that man Freedman
for the line.
But Petita Moore sprinted 2 lengths in front. Drum is starting to pack it back. Rangers up. Wider out now is Prince Marauding and Sent Isle, but Drum.
Stephen King timed his run beautifully, and Freedman has now decided to set Drum for the Newmarket handicap. The winner was
been upgraded to fast.
We're pretty happy to win with this horse. You know, he's always been a promise to be a good racehorse, and probably everything's fallen in his place in his lap today. He's got him with a great weight, and he had a good barrier and had a great ride in the race, and the race was run to suit him. So
Drum gave Stephen King a double, finally realising in Melbourne his undoubted potential.
Drum had finally stood up and was counted.
Yes, and it seems to be the pattern for Group 1 races yesterday. Drum from the Lee Freedman stable, as was Flying Spur and the Lightning. The only difference between this traditional skelter yesterday was that the opening plate was transferred to Sandown. First running at Sandown, an extra 50 metres. The speed was on for the start. Petita Moore getting to the front there would have won the opening plate at Caulfield, but missed a place at Sandown. Here's Drum. Strange horse, needs the hot weather. That's why he's racing in Melbourne, Max. But he's a very good horse.
Will he get the good hot weather for the Newmarket? Will he get the good hot weather for the Newmarket on Monday week?
I think he's got a great chance in the Newmarket. He's always been a horse of undoubted talent. He's just had to put it all together. Perhaps, as Keith said, he needs the sun on his back. So let's...
Hobartville Stakes. The starter hits the button and they're off and running, and Falante on the outside is one of the first out. Mr. Victory outside. Mr. Victory in front at the 800 mark, a length on Nothing Like a Dane, a half to Delinquent in the centre. Falante is now moving closer to the lead, 3 deep, followed by Vernal. Catalan Opening is bailed up on the fence. Octagonal is now getting out into the clear, followed by Super Slew and Classy Fella. They're bunched up at the 500 mark. In fact, only 5 lengths covers the field. Nothing Like a Dane with the inside running is sharing the lead now with Mr. Victory on the outside. Making a line of 3 is Falante. Vernal is right off the track on the corner. Catalan Opening waiting for a split, followed by Delinquent, and Octagonal getting a run between horses. In the straight, Nothing Like a Dane headed Mr. Victory. Octagonal taking a while to wind up. Catalan Opening getting the rails run. Nothing Like a Dane is in front, 100 out. Here's Octagonal down the outside, going to him quickly, but Nothing Like a Dane, just like the Victoria Derby, is still in front, and he's done it again. Nothing Like a Dane. He beat Octagonal. Catalan Opening probably third in front of Falante, followed by Classy Fella, and then Delinquent, Super Slew, followed by Vernal, and Mr. Victory is last in the Hobartville Stakes. Isn't Nothing Like a Dane a thorn in Octagonal's side? Number 2, Nothing Like a Dane, $4.10 and $1.60. Octagonal, $1.20, and Catalan Opening is run.
Doubted highlight in racing today, the return of the nation's best 3-year-olds in the Hobartville Stakes at Warwick Farm. Nothing Like a Dane could be on the way to earning a champion's tag after his magnificent win, but Octagonal, although beaten, proved he too is back better than ever.
Up Nothing Like a Dane, Max, a unique to Sydney set of circumstances when stewards told racegoers about the pre-race problems that Nothing Like a Dane had, and hence, I've no doubt, led to the drift out to 9-2.
It contributed to the drift, Keith, but also the appearance of Nothing Like a Dane was a factor too. Nothing Like a Dane looked well above himself in condition. He certainly will improve greatly for yesterday's run. Certainly he didn't look nearly as fit as Octagonal, so there is the merit in the performance.
Although sensational over the final 100, really.
Well, he's in front of Strategic. He's supposed to be a stayer, but he seems to be more adaptable. Not a Strategic, Octagonal. He seems to be more adaptable. On that performance, how can Octagonal ever beat him at any distance, Max?
Well, Octagonal is just a bloody good horse. And that's why you can never say he'll never beat him, because it was a terrific run by Octagonal. It only took a great performance to beat him. So if Nothing Like a Dane did a few things wrong, if the brakes went against Nothing Like a Dane, he just hasn't got that much on Octagonal. But with a race run as it was yesterday, you can't see Octagonal giving him 3.5 lengths start and running him down. He'll get close to him, but he won't get past him.
Well, Max, we're in for a great autumn, though, with the two clashing head-to-head.
Oh, no doubt. It's only unfortunate the Dane, when the older horse won't be around for much longer, just to really put the test to them.
Max coming into the Doncaster with a superb performance again yesterday.
Yes, certainly Juggler has plenty of scope for improvement still, which is difficult to imagine on his win in the Apollo yesterday, because he did it with great authority. Saintly, I don't know whether you'd say was disappointing. Certainly if you backed him, he was disappointing, but for a
couple here, Max, Ravada and Magic Road.
Yes, and the jockey Jay Powell was suspended for 8 meetings, and just here he'll cross in sharply. That's Saintly, they're checking off him now, but look at the authority the Juggler's gone to the line, not really touched. Tough horse, a good horse, and there was a protest by the fourth runner, Ravada, against Saintly, dismissed in about 35 seconds. In any other country in the world, Keith, it would have been upheld, considering the severity of the interference.
Yeah, that's interesting, Max.
Our horses to follow a Juggler will get better. Drum now he's broken through, and of course, how could you have a black book special and not have Nothing Like a Dane in it?
Okay. Okay.
With Caulfield having a facelift, it was Flemington which hosted Blue Diamond Stakes Day. Count Sheba started 13-4 favourite for the St George Stakes. Races Edge, Jeune and Starstruck the dangers.
Count Sheba's, but Races Edge is well clear, stopping a little bit near the line. Toil finishing on, but Races Edge, Two Goods leads all the way, and Races Edge passes the...
Races Edge now set for the Australian Cup, as is Paris Lane, who looked cherry ripe in his third run back from a lengthy spell.
Another champion down your way yesterday in Jeune and the St George Stakes, but Races Edge, 3 in a row, one to really watch.
Yes, I said last start that Malcolm Pay got away with Ned Kelly-style robbery. He did it again yesterday. 10 out of 10 for Malcolm Pay here, and about 2 collectively for the boys who chased him home. They let Races Edge get such a break that he ran the last 600 metres in 33.9. Cigar couldn't have pulled ground off him. This sort of race was set up for Races Edge, and if they run the Australian Cup the same way, tomorrow week he'll do it again, but surely 8 days to wake up for the rest of the jockeys. Someone must.
It's difficult for them though, Keith, and I'm certainly not in the business of making excuses for jockeys, but it's the Durbridge syndrome. Horses with speed in weight for age races, they can dictate terms. It can be suicidal for another horse to go up on the outside, but I can't argue with the fact that you're not going to beat that Races Edge by giving him a start, letting him canter and trying to outsprint him.
Well, the Blue Diamond...
To the very rich Blue Diamond Stakes, $500,000 here.
Thank you, Brendan. Yes, Tolerance won the first Blue Diamond at Caulfield. One of 3 winners for Angus Homanasco, who prepared, of course, for Rena. The first filly to win the race, and then in 1988 he won with a very good horse, Sedative. Side, the tote favourite here on Super Tab at 470, Clang, looks a picture. Our Cashel, the brilliant filly, 1 start for a win at Sandown. Waiting for the light. Express Goal, the inside runner. Damn better. Paint in 3. Light on again. They're off and running. and Express Gold commenced very quickly to the inside with Victory Dash, and Paint began well with Jump and Jive behind them. Hunted up early in the pieces, Miss Jugar, followed by Spartacus, and deeper on the track is Polish Native showing speed. And they were being followed closely over on the outside by Jump and Jive, and just in behind them came our Cashel, racing down with 850 to go, and Paint takes up the running. Leads about a length in advance now, moving up into second place. Winged Charger being followed by Miss Jugar. Express Gold is over on the rails, followed by Flavour. Behind them is Spartacus, followed closely by Victory Dash and Happen. And a bit further back than is Polish Native, followed by Jump and Jive, who's a good way back with Matrilineal. Clang is among the tail enders there in company with Prattler. As they race down with 500 metres left to go, they're on the course proper. Paint the leader by length. Winged Charger, Express Gold trying to get through on the inside. Miss Jugar, our Cashel, looking for a way out. She's balked for the moment down the outside. Clang is starting to run on, but Paint is travelling very easily, coming to the 200. Paint is well clear by 3 lengths to Flavour, who's now second, coming down the outside. Our Cashel and Clang, but Paint is in no danger. Paint is going to bolt him with the Blue Diamond. Paint is well clear. Flavour second, our Cashel, Clang, and then Happen, but Paint wins very easily. 3 lengths to Flavour, third our Cashel. Fourth home is Clang, followed by Happen. A good long gap to Miss Jugar, Prattler, Winged Charger, Express Gold, Victory Dash, Polish Native. Well back in the field, Spartacus, followed by Jump and Jive, and last of all, Matrilineal.
John Hawkes and Gay Waterhouse seemed to have all the aces with Flavour, Clang and Express Gold, but they hadn't counted on a grey flash by the name of Paint.
And it's on the inside, Paint the leader to Winged Charger, Express Gold breathing behind them, looking for the way clear. They were followed by Miss Jugar and Flavour, and then our Cashel looking for an out. Had to squeeze out of a pocket there, and Clang coming on the outside, but Paint is away at the 200, broke 4 lengths in front now to Flavour. Then our Cashel and Clang on the outside, but Paint at the 100, led by about 4 lengths to Flavour. Then our Cashel and Clang, and Paint kept going. Paint is going to walk it in. A brilliant win to Paint over Flavour, our Cashel third.
This was $500,000 Blue Diamond, more than justifying the decision to pay a $25,000 slipper.
Well, this has been in work for a long time. It's his first preparation, and I don't want to overtax the horse. We've seen burnt out 2-year-olds before, and I don't want it to happen again.
Paint scored at 13-2. Clang starting the 4-1 favourite and finishing just out of the money.
Winner blitz the field with a 5 lengths win. What an outstanding performance and a good decision and a great reward for the connections.
They paid $25,000 for that late entry fee. They got it back by the halfway mark. This is one of the most devastating Blue Diamond Stakes wins you would see. This is a fantastic win in the Blue Diamond. That's our Cashel, my golden slipper tip, running on. She got into a little bit of a skirmish early. I still think that she's on target for the golden slipper, and incidentally, David and Max, a decision, surprisingly, will be delayed until later in the week on whether Paint goes to Sydney, where the same problem faces him. They'd have to pay $100,000 this time for him to get into the slipper.
He certainly repaid the investment yesterday. I think I'd be starting him in the slipper. It's not very often you get the chance to run a $2 million race, and he's got the credentials.
Yes, but his trainer, Max, Gerald Ryan, is of another view. He said he would rather put Paint now out to the paddock and bring him back later. But money speaks all languages, doesn't it? Especially a couple...
Stablemates, the 3 of them, trained by Lee Friedman. Doremus returning after his brilliant victories in the Caulfield and Melbourne Cups of last year. Bayers moving in. Strategic all the rage for this at $2.30 on the tote, but not one favourite has saluted in the 6 races decided so far today here at Flemington. Good line. Set. Light still on. Racing. Strategic jump well near the inside, out very quickly, El Cove, and also Hurricane Speed now. Flying Spur dash to the front in the Futurity, and Flying Spur by a length and a half to Stalk as they come down to the 800. 2 lengths to Hurricane Sky on the inside of Dennis Singer, moving up just behind them. A bit further back then came Sabre Suit over on the outside, making ground. Star Dancer into the picture, followed by Strategic, who's well positioned. Over on the rails behind them, Fighter Bay, followed by Silver Neon. A gap there to Star of Maple, and further back in the field around the outside, Buzz Off is very deep. Doremus is a long way back, and so is Western Red with Alcove. Homeward bound. Flying Spur is the leader down to the 400, led by a length and a half. Hurricane Sky a second over on the inside, then Stalker, then Star Dancer, followed by Dennis Singer, and Strategic is under some pressure as they run to the 250. Flying Spur's in front now. Star Dancer, Strategic down the outside, and they're followed a bit further back by Stalk and Buzz Off from a long way back. Flying Spur tackled by Star Dancer in the final stages. Star Dancer over on the outside is coming at Flying Spur. Star Dancer hit the front. Star Dancer wins the Futurity. away by a long neck to Flying Spur. Buzz-Off's run third, just ahead of Strategic. Then Hurricane Sky, and back behind them, Dennis Singer, Silver Neon, Sober Suit, Star of Maple, Alcove. Doremus further back, followed by Stork. Western Red, and a bad last is Fighter Bay.
Round the turn, and Flying Spur first for home in the futurity from Stork. In behind them then Hurricane Sky on the rail, and then Star Dancer followed by Dennis Singer. And next Strategic, he's pulled to the outside and he's coming on with his run. Flying Spur's done it hard, he's the leader. He's pulled the whip at the 300 from Hurricane Sky. In behind him on the outside, Stork and Star Dancer. And now Strategic is starting to wind up, but Star Dancer got to Flying Spur, who's fighting on well on the inside. It's Flying Spur, the inside, Star Dancer from Strategic. Flying Spur and Star Dancer, who's drifting out. Star Dancer getting to Flying Spur, and Star Dancer won it from Flying Spur by a neck. Buzz-Off flashed home, grabbed third from
Star Dancer.
Money, I believe you had a small flutter on Star Dancer in the futurity yesterday, putting money on the 5-year-old.
Well, most of the course did, I think, David, for two reasons. One, Juggler had won so impressively earlier, and Star Dancer had to jump the fallen March Hare in that race, and the track was upgraded. Star Dancer needs it firm. He got it yesterday. He's a talented New Zealand galloper. Perhaps on the day, Hurricane Sky should have won because he had to race to the bias pattern of the day and be forced to the lead. But there's Dittman on Flying Spur on the inside, and he comes Star Dancer on the outside. Two great horses. They fight out a thrilling finish. The day belonged to Star Dancer, who is one of the most consistent gallopers in Australasia. He deserved that Group 1 win in the
I hope you
future.
didn't miss Buzz-Off just charging down the outside there on a day that didn't suit back markers. I thought Buzz-Off was one of the best performances of the day from the future point of view.
For the running of a most important thoroughbred horse race, the Group 1 Chipping Norton Stakes of 1,600 metres at standard weight for age. Only a small field of 7, but a very, very select field. The biggest money earner is Dane Wynn. Number 5, you'll see Dane Wynn come into shot in a moment here in the red and green colours. There he is in the background. He's ridden by Melbourne's top jockey, Damien Oliver, and this will be his farewell appearance in Australia before heading for the United Arab Emirates, where he'll represent his country in the Dubai World Cup on March 27, the world's richest horse race, worth about $5 million Australian, and that's the horse that will be flying our flag in the United Arab Emirates, the mighty Dane Wynn. Damien Oliver, the rider. This is only his second ride runner. They're off, a nice start. And Old Pharaoh, they swing around that top bend at the 900 mark. Tenor is just the leader over Dane Wynn. A length and a half away, March Hare, who's tucked away on the fence on the inside of Juggler, and Kingston Bay about to go up 3 deep. The Penny is second last. Ahead away on the outside is Pharaoh. They're tight and compact at the 700 mark, and Tenor led a half to Dane Wynn. Going up 3 wide now, Kingston Bay to put some pressure on them, and they've quickened appreciably. A length and a half away, March Hare, followed by Juggler, who's now being ridden a bit. Pharaoh's 3 deep, and the Penny last of the 7, but keeping in touch as they come around the corner. Into the straight, Kingston Bay 3 deep. Dane Wynn in the centre. Tenor on the fence, and they turn together clear of Juggler, who's flat to the boards but getting out after them. And Old Pharaoh right out in the middle of the track is running a bit of a race. Juggler hit the lead past the 200 from Kingston Bay. Dane Wynn's gone, and Juggler sprinted away 100 metres out. He's going to bolt in. Juggler racing away is going to make it 2 wins in 7 days on the Warwick Farm track. A brilliant win to Juggler. March Hare got second. The Penny is surprisingly good third, followed by Kingston Bay. Let's hope nothing's amiss with Dane Wynn. He was the first horse beaten, and he was probably 8 lengths from the winner going over the line. Pharaoh made a dash and then weakened again, and Tenor is last to finish in the Group 1 Chipping Norton Stakes.
Well, we also had a bit of an upset at Warwick Farm, the performance of Dane Wynn yesterday.
Yes, we certainly didn't see the best of Dane Wynn. Dane Wynn ran shabbily, to say the least, but I've been speaking to trainer Bob Thompson this morning. He can't explain the run. All he can say is the horse is 100% today, but that's Dane Wynn, 2 off the rail in the green and red colours, but just note the way Dane Wynn stops over the latter stages.
From Kingston Bay, Dane Wynn's gone, and Juggler sprinted away 100 metres out. He's going to bolt in. Juggler racing away is going to make it 2 wins in 7 days on the Warwick Farm track. A brilliant win to Juggler.
Well, Gay Waterhouse could win on a broomstick at the moment, Max, couldn't she? After the win in the Apollo, Juggler superb, and obviously set himself for the Doncaster now.
Yes, and he's in outstanding form, this horse. He's going to be very hard to beat in anything he races in, and that's the beautiful thing with the Waterhouse preparation. They're very, very fit. They keep fit, and if anything, they keep on getting a bit better.
Max, I think Juggler's probably the best miler in Australia at this moment, but Dane Wynn did something like that. I think it was the Canterbury Guineas, where he flopped, ran dismally, and then came out and won the Rosehill Guineas. Should we forgive him?
Keith, he didn't run that badly in the Canterbury Guineas. That was by far yesterday the worst run of Dane Wynn's career. And as I said, Bobby Thompson said he had a booster injection to go to Dubai 3 weeks ago. Perhaps it was that, perhaps it was the second up factor. He can't explain what it was. Even he said he's trained the horse for 2,000 metres. Perhaps he found the 1,600 too short. You just don't know, but he's too good a horse to wipe. Keith hasn't mentioned it, but Keith,
I hadn't got a chance to, Max, and I would have been surprised if you hadn't noticed Buzz Off. And don't miss it come Doncaster today. That's my long-range tip.
Yes, well, Buzz Off, Juggler, and even our Cashel, Keith Hillier's Golden Slipper tip, I think can improve, but undoubtedly a horse to follow.
The first being the Skyline Stakes at Canterbury.
Armadale, the leader, straightening up over Excel Pilot, and they've come away now from Intergaze, who's hooked across their heels, followed by Roaring Success. Armadale clear, Excel Pilot's having another dive at him. Intergaze and now Mushy chiming in. Armadale collapsed. Excel Pilot hit the lead over Intergaze and Mushy, and Excel Pilot scores a very gutsy win from either.
The same afternoon, the Chlorophyll team, trainer Max Lees and jockey John Marshall, provided an upset result in the Sweet Embrace Stakes.
Flapper on the outside, Cashier on the fence, followed by Stony Fell Road, who's unleashing down the outside with a big run at the 200, and Flapper hit the lead from Roman Fashion. Stony Fell Road is out after Flapper. Flapper's in front, 100 out over Stony Fell Road, and Dane Ripper charging late, but Flapper is going to win the Sweet Embrace Stakes, and Flapper beat Stony Fell Road. Dane Ripper...
The following week at Rose Hill...
A gap then to Hay Charger and Stately King. Sprint By's into the clear now. Turning for home, Batwing the leader. Peruzzi's going after him. Sprint By winding up quickly, and they're well clear of Identikit. Batwing still in front, tackled by Peruzzi. Sprint By on the outside claims the pair of them. Sprint By has joined Peruzzi. The filly is coming again. Peruzzi and Sprint By, they hit the line, locked together. Sprint By kicked and got there by a nose to Peruzzi, with Identikit a distant third. Followed by Batwing, Navy Seal, Stately King, Nobelotto, and last is Hay Charger in the Canterbury Stakes. This could be closer than you think.
What a great race the Canterbury Stakes was beforehand. And again, Larry Olsen featured, didn't get up on this time, but caused interference, and had Larry Olsen won the race, I think he would have lost it in protest. That's him in the white colours. The horse in the red with the red cap is Sprint By Peruzzi, ridden by Larry Olsen.
Gosh, they went fast. 1:10.47. It's less than a second outside Manikato's record. 8 wins from 17 starts for Sprint By. He's very good.
He's very good, and she's very good too. She's got the greatest scope for improvement, being a 3-year-old filly. Alas, Larry Olsen won't be riding at Rose Hill next Saturday.
What effect will that have on of the Melbourne Grand Prix is Keith Hillier? Keith, yesterday in the Breeders, did we see the best 2-year-old going around?
We saw one of the best for sure, David, in Zaya. She won a race a month ago today called the Breeders' Plate at Morpheville in South Australia. It has proved to be a most significant race because XL Pilot was runner-up that day, and XL Pilot won at Canterbury yesterday, and behind them was Paint, who blitzed them in the Blue Diamond Stakes. So Zaya is very good. She may even front up at Flemington again tomorrow in the VRC Sires Produce. Let's have a look at her now. She quickly grabs her leaders. Happen raced in blinkers for the first time yesterday, and I don't think they suited her. That's Zaya going up, challenging for the lead now. Watch the way that she finishes off the race. She does it in a very workmanlike fashion, and I think that she's going to be hard to beat in anything she runs, and I'm pretty sure that they'll be tempted, strongly tempted, to pay that 100 grand to get to the slipper.
I thought it was one of the more outstanding Golden Slipper trials of the season. I liked the way she went to the line, and she did give the impression that she's still got scope for further improvement. However,
they're about to go. I'll have to be quick. Number 1 Octagonal, the Cox Plate winner, is a raging hot favourite, and now at $1.40. $8.50 Classy Fella, $16 Super Slew, $8 Falonti, $26 Future King, $9 Payback Time, and $21 Bravo Zulu. They've jumped.
Slew from the outside gate appeared to brush and the run up the hill. They've got 700 to go. Super Slew the leader. They're picking up speed now. Octagonal second, in third spot Payback Time, followed by Bravo Zulu, and then Falonte, Classy Fella, and ahead away on the outside Future King. 5 lengths first to last. Octagonal's under pressure coming to the turn. Super Slew the leader. Darren Beedman hard at work
work on Octagonal on the outside. Bravo Zulu in third place, and then Falante, who looks to be making heavy weather of it, and wide on the track. Payback Time. Future King is running on well. In the straight, Octagonal flat to the boards to head. Super Slew. They're clear of Falante. Bravo Zulu on the fence. Octagonal full bore. Falante is having another go at him. Octagonal in front. Beedman's got to ride desperately. Falante can't quite pick him up, and Octagonal fell in to win the Guineas by a long head to Falante. Future King wide out, probably third in front of Classy Fella, Super Slew, and then Bravo Zulu and Payback Time weakened to run last of the 7.
What next? Darren Beedman rode Octagonal for the first time yesterday, and it's not a bad trick to just get on a horse and be able to rate him as Beedman did. Beedman made a sharp move early and went up to the lead in a slowly run race, but looked like he could have been in trouble a couple of times, but the horse responded magnificently. There he is going to the lead, and here comes Mick Dittman on the outside on Falante. 4 seconds yesterday for Mick, but certainly he's lost none of the old verve. The horses just weren't good enough.
And Octagonal responded as great horses do, Max. Had the race been another couple of 100 metres, Octagonal would have lengthened that winning margin. He did look on, I agree, but didn't he pull something out? Good horses do that.
No doubt about that, Keith. The only problem I've got with Octagonal's run yesterday is how much it would have taken out of him. By gee, it was a tough run, and he came back like a very battle-weary warrior after the race. But I suppose if we had Darren Beedman working on us to that extent, we'd be a little bit weary too. To beat, if save for the Golden Slipper. XL Pilot, I think it has a bold chance too, and Intergaze on the way up there can win a race in the near future.
Okay, great to have him.
Race in the near future.
Okay, great to have him. Nothing like a date in the Australia Cup.
Yes, I've just spoken to the Michael Iskander office. He's into 7-4 favouritism for the Australian Cup. He's got to step up from 1,400 metres to 2,000 metres in a field of 16. It'll just underline his greatness if he can do it, and I think he can. Strategic's a favourite for the Newmarket and the horse to beat. The money yesterday has been for Baryshnikov, especially Baryshnikov, and to a lesser extent Captingly, the winner of the Oakley Plate a year ago. Three great races when you throw in the Sires Produce Stakes at Flemington tomorrow.
With the tote board once more before the running of the Group 1 Sires Produce Stakes. Number 1 Kling out to 3.30 now, odds of just fractionally better than 9-4. 6-1 Express Gold, 25 both Alpha and Victory Dash. My Duke, TAB number 5, Eddie Maguire tells me he's owned by Ron Cook, who was a former president of the VFL and of the president of the Hawthorn Football Club. Good luck to Ron. Prattler is at 7-1. Tertius, well backed in the ring, is into 10-1. Zaya, about $4.10 now, almost down to 3-1, and 40 Gary Willits. Zaya, did you have a look at her in the mount?
No trouble with that run on Saturday, and she's settled up very well.
And there,
ready, and away they go to a good start too, with the exception of Tertius, lost about a length or so. Metres left to go. Express Gold a half length to Polish Native, a length and a half further back to Red Rascal over on the insider. Of going around them, Prattler up into a handy position, and they were being followed closely along the inside by My Duke. Angel's Image is up in that leading group, a length further back as Clanger. They're followed closely there at the head of the others by Zaya, followed by Alpha, who's a long way off the lead, followed by Victory Dash. Well back to Tertius second last, and O Savage is last of all. Polish Native hanging off the track. Express Gold will lead them into the straight, about a length and a half to Prattler. Polish Native on the outside. Red Rascal getting a lovely run, and My Duke is starting to come into the picture along the inside. Clanger's giving the leaders a fair start, and so is Zaya as they run to the 300. Express Gold is the leader. My Duke is finishing solidly along the inside, and wider on the track. Here comes the filly Zaya with a great run. Clang ducked in under pressure. It's Zaya coming down the outside to go after My Duke, who hit the front of the Sires Produce. My Duke is tackled by Zaya, coming at it strongly on the outside. Zaya's almost level. My Duke fights back. My Duke has won it by a head to Zaya. A length and a half back third is Clang, followed by Tertius, who made up a heap of ground, followed by Prattler, Express Gold, O Savage, Alpha behind them, Victory Dash, followed by Red Rascal, Angel's Image, and last home is Polish Native.
Really well along the inside. A gap further back is Zaya and Clang. Express Gold at the 300, the leader, by 2 lengths to My Duke, finishing hard on the inside, and then Prattler. Here comes Zaya. Zaya is coming with a big run on the outside. Express Gold grabbed by My Duke, who's hit the front. Zaya still running on. My Duke 150 outled. Zaya's coming at him hard now. The filly racing up to My Duke. Zaya and My Duke. My Duke fights on. My Duke won it from Zaya by a long head. 2.5.
Previous winners of the
board. The Sires, Zaya and 2 sires in a row for Victoria's leading trainer Gerald Ryan. Danny Nikolic rode a superb race on the fence. My Duke started 9-1. Zaya, who backed up from Saturday's Breeders' win, a game runner-up.
And the time-honoured Newmarket handicap down the straight 1,200 metre course in less than 60 seconds. Let's see these prices. All our mob at 14, last year's winner. Seasky at 30, Primacy at 40, Barishnikov out to 5.5 to 1. Gold Ace, probably favourite now with bookmakers, around about 11 to 2 still on the tote, about $6.40. Carptingly at 10 to 1, Strategic favourite on the tote at 5 to 1. 14 Brawny Spirit, a bit of money for him in the ring. 25 Sequalo, 12 Cut Up Rough, 15 Drum, the stablemate of Gold Ace. He won the Oakley Plate. Auntie Mary at 40 to 1. Ben's Rocket at 60 to 1. Centile at 25 to 1. Power and Glory at 40 to 1. Mobile Link 33, just firm to touch. Royal Discard at 50 to 1. Prince Marauding, no money for Nicky's tip. It's at 25 to 1. What a race it's going to be.
Certainly will be. There'll be a lot of speed down the outside. You've got Captain Lee will come down the outside. Brawny Spirit's got a lot of speed. I think Sequalo would most probably come down there. It's going to be an...
They're racing. Perfect Dispatch to Gold Ace. Might have been a bit slow to get going towards the outside. Brawny Spirit was out like a rocket and shows the way towards the grandstand side. Showing plenty of speed down there is Mobile Link, one of the leaders, and Gold Ace is up running second on the flat side. And he was being followed by Sandile, who's over on the rails. Prince Marauding behind them. They're followed closely in behind them. The other Strategic followed by Power and Glory. And a bit further back is Petita Moore. Ben's Rocket is in behind them. Another excuse, and Barishnikov is well back at the tail of that bunch on the flat side rail. Down the grandstand side, Brawny Spirit leads the way out there from Del Sol, Sequalo, Royal Discard. Cut Up Rough behind them. Carpingly is in behind the leaders, Drum, as they race down towards the 250 metre market on the flat side. Gold Ace is careered away down there. Gold Ace is 2 lengths ahead. Primacy is running second. Strategic is running on pretty well. Down the grandstand side, Sequalo's taken the lead from Brawny Spirit. The outside runners have it. Brawny Spirit wins the Newmarket. Brawny Spirit from Sequalo, Royal Discard on the grandstand side. On the flat side, Gold Ace followed by All Our Mob, who's never in the hunt but made up plenty of ground over the finishing stages. Strategic behind them, and they were followed next home by Mobile Link and Sandile. Another excuse, Royal Discard. Further back, Cut Up Rough, followed by Del Sol. And back behind them, Seasky was never in the race, really, followed by Ben's Rocket, Power and Glory. Barishnikov among the tail enders. Drums finished well back with Primacy, Auntie Mary and Petita Moore.
From in second placing, Mobile Link and Primacy is right there. Behind them is Strategic and Petita Moore. And then came Centile, Power and Glory, and a fair break to All Our Mob. Out on the grandstand, Brawny Spirit, the leader from Del Sol. And Sequalo is coming at them with Drum coming down the middle of the course. Gold Ace races to the 250. He's 3 lengths in front of Primacy and Strategic. And on the grandstand, Brawny Spirit and Sequalo. I think they're in front out here. It's Brawny Spirit, Sequalo. Brawny Spirit and Sequalo. Brawny Spirit taking the lead. Brawny Spirit, he's won it from Sequalo.
The vagaries of the... Well, if you're observant, you got the tip early in the day off Gary Willits when he come on and said, with a northwesterly wind, the horses down the outside are the ones to beat. And there you see Brawny Spirit kicking back to beat Sequalo in the centre in the blue colours, and that's Royal Discard third. Gold Ace was...
His principal autumn sprint, the Newmarket. A win for the battlers. Pony-sized Brawny Spirit, all heart and speed. Michael Clark now not getting the rides he deserves. And popular low-profile trainer Mick Winks surprised his little horse had run so fast.
The record, you wouldn't believe it, but I rode him down the straight this morning on the wood chip. All he wanted to do was fly with me, and I didn't think I was going to stop him. You know, that's the way he is. He just felt that well.
A course record win for Brawny Spirit, starting 12 to 1. Gold Ace most unlucky, almost fell at the start, then first home on the slower side of the straight.
Nothing like a day, and of course the favourite. Let's go to Kenny Callender now to find out what the latest is with the market. Ken.
Yeah, thanks, Eddie. Well, Jean come in a touch early, but he's out now to 10 to 1. He was just nosed out by Starstruck in this race last year. Paris Lane at 15 to 1, 100 Dark Star. Star Dancer firmed in from 14 to 1 to 12 to 1, 33 to 1 Prataris Bay. Viali, the imported horse, about $20, just about 19 to 1. Toil at 30 to 1, 100 Campaign Warrior. Racer's Edge in scintillating form is at 9 to 1. 13 to 2, 6.5 to 1. Higgins is Roy Higgins' tip. Count Chivas. Starstruck at 11 to 1, 25 Boart. Circles of Gold is at 40 to 1. The Hot Pot, nothing like a day, and I had him at 9 to 4 at 3.20. He's into 3.10, $3.10, just over 2 to 1. Saintly is into 8 to 1 now, might come in a little bit more. He's my pick, Saintly, Darren Beedman to ride him, and the other 3-year-old Peep on the Sly, getting out from 25 to 30 to 1. Once again, here's Eddie.
Waiting for the light, there it is. Set off and running in the Australian Cup. A good even start too, with the exception of June, who missed it a couple of lengths. It's a conspicuous last, settling into Stride and Viali. One of the run, and Terrace has dropped out to last, and well back as Dark Star. Nothing Like a Dane, the leader, as they went to the 1,000. Nothing Like a Dane, about a length clear. Campaign Warrior a second, a half length away. Over on the outside, moving up just in behind them then is Paris Lane, and they're followed closely a bit further back in the field by Viali as they race near to the home turn, and back behind them then gaining ground. Saintly is coming to the picture, and Viali is just in behind them, and Racer's Edge is taking closer order. Peep on the Sly as they come around the home turn. 600 metres left to go. Nothing Like a Dane is the leader. Close up on the outside, going forward very quickly there into the picture is Dark Star with a good run, and he was followed by over on the inside Campaign Warrior. Saintly, Racer's Edge is not finding a great deal. Viali, Jern from a long way back. Nothing Like a Dane, the leader, being tackled in earnest now by Campaign Warrior, and over on the outside there, Saintly is joining in. Star Dancer behind them, Paris Lane, and they're followed by Peep on the Sly. Saintly hit the front of the Australian Cup, and as well as there in the final stages, Saintly drew away. Nothing Like a Dane can't go on. Peep on the Sly finishing on, but it's Saintly's Australian Cup. Saintly wins it well. Second home, I think, Viali. Peep on the Sly. Third, Circles of Gold. Nothing Like a Dane, and they were followed next by Protara's Bay. Racer's Edge behind them, Toil, followed by Count Shivers, Never in the Hunt, and well back to Star Dancer. Followed next there, well back behind them was Starstruck, followed by Paris Lane, and Jern is among the tail enders.
Homeward bound now, Nothing Like a Dane at the 600-metre mark will just be the leader around the turn from Campaign Warrior. Paris Lane 3 out, 4 wide is Saintly. Star Dancer just behind them when they corner. Then Circles of Gold, Racer's Edge, and Vialia from Peep on the Sly. Next Jern, 350 to go now. Nothing Like a Dane in front. He's had to go for the whip. Campaign Warrior and Saintly coming at them on the outside now. It's Saintly and Nothing Like a Dane, the 2 3-year-olds from Campaign Warrior, Vialia, Circles of Gold, and Peep on the Sly. But it's all Saintly. He's raced away. 11 for Bart. Saintly by about 4 lengths. He gaps them and wins it easily. Vialia or Peep on the Sly for the minors. A photo. Circles.
This is your little beauty boy, the Sydney Star Saintly, ridden by the Sydney champion jockey Darren Beedman, had a big day in Melbourne today, and look at him stride away. He was 3 deep all the way, but Darren told me earlier in the day he's such a long strider, you're better off being 3 wide travelling on him than being cluttered up, and oh, that's what you call a win. 4 lengths, Gary, and Viali, the imported horse, what a run he was. I think he's just...
The big one's a staggering 11th win in this race for Bart Cummings. Saintly never better than 3 wide, but an absolutely dominant win. The first 3-year-old since Dulcify to score.
Yeah, it was a bit like Damon Hill when he shot past his stablemate. But he certainly showed a great deal of acceleration.
Nothing like Flemington. The horse likes it, I like it, and I like the prize money. It's all great.
It is great when there's $552,000 for first, with Saintly taking that out. Back to Sydney now for the Rosehill Guineas and Derby. Jern may have run his last race.
The Weight for Age race is run just 2 weeks later at Otaki. The Terrace Regency Stakes has been a high-quality race over a number of years and is frequently appointed to the valuable autumn races in Sydney.
Diablo Girl travelling okay, is trying to get away. A couple of lengths in front. From now, Allegro pressured up on the inside of Gypsy Wise, Last Snap and Corndale to the outside. Diablo Girl, the Southern Mare's got a pretty good break on them. She's 3, 4 lengths in front with 200 to go. And Diablo Girl is showing them an absolute clean pair of heels here. Snap and Corndale getting home well, but Diablo Girl has blown them off the racecourse. Diablo Girl, Group 1 in style by 5.
Only a small field for the Terrace Regency, but the result couldn't have been more emphatic, with Diablo Girl making some of the biggest names in New Zealand racing look second race. This was a...
Celius, the young filly, 3-year-old filly under Pat Hyland's guidance. She's going to be pretty hard to beat, but I still think Hurricane Storm can get there.
Okay, let's look at the prices. Number 1, Donar at $12. It's odds of 11 to 1. Iron Horse at $6. I've had a couple of bucks on Iron Horse to win the Salius. Bookies are a little bit more generous, but on the tote, these are Victorian TAB prices. She's showing at odds of 5 to 4 on, or $1.80. Simon, you know these.
Good start too, and down on the inside, McCrest, one of them on the side, 850 metres out. Sally is travelling beautifully. A length and a half, Hurricane Storm over on the outside of Iron Horse, who's had a nice run all the way. Taking closer order, Scenic Royale coming into the picture, being followed by El Quahira's Son. A length further back along the inside, then is Lucky Striker being hard ridden, being passed in turn by Donar, McCrest, Russian Trader as they come down the side, 500 metres out. Salius a length and a half, Hurricane Storm. Iron Horse is now being hard ridden, not responding. Dropping out, being passed there by Scenic Royale on the outside, joining in as they make the home 10. Silius the leader. A length, Scenic Royale could be the immediate danger. 2 lengths away, Hurricane Storm. The other struggling, headed by Iron Horse as they make the home turn. Silius about to be tackled by Scenic Royale on the outside. Scenic Royale is level with Silius, who fights back, but Scenic Royale has taken the lead inside the final 200 metres. Silius battling back gamely on the inside. Scenic Royale is just in front. Scenic Royale too good. Scenic Royale a half length to Silius. 5 lengths away, third Hurricane Storm, followed by Skybow, who made up a heap of ground. El Quahira's Son, Donar, Iron Horse dropped right out of it, followed by Russian Trader. Lucky Striker next to last, and the last home is McCrest.
Well, we might see Scenic Royale in Sydney now for the Derby on the strength of this win. He got the better of Salius. The filly didn't lose any cast. She'll definitely come up for the Oaks. But Brenton keeping Scenic Royale going was just too strong, Simon, in that last little bit.
Yeah, it certainly was. I really worried early on. Salius got across very easily and there was no real pressure put on. I wasn't sure with anything from behind would catch her. But Scenic Royale, that's a ripper finish, and he'll definitely come to Sydney.
It's Salius joined by Scenic Royale on the outside. Salius has to fight. It's Scenic Royale, a neck in front of Salius. Scenic Royale from Salius, who's trying hard, but Scenic Royale will be too good. Scenic Royale 1.5 lengths, Salius. Scenic Royale, who also wore blinkers for the first time today. Trainer John Marr now eyeing Group 1 races in Sydney against the likes of Nothing Like a Dane, Saintly and Octagonal.
Well, you're going to be...
They run similar time to the Cox Plate won by Octagonal. Sally is gallant in defeat at 10-9. Scenic Royale started 6-1.
We'll take a break. We should have the result. Brawny Spirit is out, 270 Hariba, $12 Hero Wind, 17 Grand Bay, 21 Sir Boom, $6 now Street Talk. It's firmed up a bit. Our caller's John Russell. It's a 1,200 to go in. Simon and I both like All Our Mob. Hariba, first up after a spell, might find it a bit tough. Righto, here's Johnny Russell.
Stanley Wooden over the 1,200 metre course. No, Hero Wind backed out. Racing. No, Hero Wind backed out. Racing. Grand Bay jumped out well, and Hero Wind has missed the start by 6 lengths. Grand Bay is the early leader from Hariba, who got out very well, and so did Street Talker. In behind them, going fast is Sir Boom, followed by Meter Mark and the leader, Grand Bay, a half length to Hariba. In third place, a length and a half further back is Street Talk, followed by All Our Mob, who's making ground the outsider. Sir Boom is back on the rails, and Hero Wind is last of all. Coming down the school side, 600 metres outer. Grand Bay by a neck on Hariba, a length and a half to Street Talk. All Our Mob going forward quickly. At the head of the others came Hero Wind as they come up towards the home turn. Hariba is level now with Grand Bay. 3 deep as Street Talk coming to the picture. 4 deep as All Our Mob as they make the home turn. All Our Mob the outside, Street Talk. Hariba struggling at the moment. Grand Bay still there on the inside as they straighten up, but All Our Mob has swept to the lead at the top of the straight and is well clear. Street Talk is second. Hero Wind is coming home well. Hariba will run nearly last, but it's All Our Mob in no danger halfway down the running. Has got it shot to pieces. All Our Mob comes away for a big win. All Our Mob by 4 lengths to Hero Wind. Third home is Street Talk, then Sir Boom and Grand Bay. And there's another favourite down at Hariba who's run absolute.
Yes, and in Sydney, the big news, protest...
Into the track and the Stanley Wooden. His effort, though, was short-lived. Hariba's fourth and battling around the turn. All Our Mob for home, dashed away. Out 3 lengths now to Street Talk, and Hero Wind running a big race on the outside. Hariba will run last, but All Our Mob ridden right out to the line by Danny Negalik. Bolts away to win it by 4 lengths, Hero Wind. Street Talk third. The versatile All Our Mob, a Newmarket Stradbroke and Turnbull winner, way too good, but trailing in 6 lengths last, a distressed Hariba.